Hello and welcome to Brodual. Today we have Last Seed. This is a primary needs, wellness and disease overhaul for Skyrim, coming from the same mod author that brought you Frostfall, Campfire and several other popular mods. The current version of Last Seed is being described by the author as a prologue, so it's a very limited working version of the mod with many missing or restricted features. So keep that in mind when watching the video and be sure to share your feedback with the mod author. Last Seed aims to offer a streamlined, intuitive primary needs system, one that builds into and expands on Chesko's own Skyrim survival series of mods. The three primary needs are split into hunger, thirst and fatigue, with each one being influenced by and linked to certain player actions. Hunger is influenced by health and acts of combat, thirst by stamina and acts of exertion, and fatigue by acts of mental concentration and spellcasting. The prologue version of the mod only adds hunger to the game, so let's focus on that. You'll also get a basic idea of how the mod will expand into the other two needs. Hunger affects your ability to regenerate health, the damage you deal with your weapons, and the amount you can block with your shield. How much hunger affects those attributes will depend on how hungry you are, which is broken down into 6 stages. You start the game feeling content, and then you either eat to become more full, or you can neglect your hunger and fall down the ranks. It takes just over 2 in-game days to go from feeling full to become starving. However, since hunger is tied to health, you become more hungry over time while you're in the middle of regenerating. So while you heal up, you become hungry more quickly. So if you were starving in the middle of combat, that would not only seriously affect your combat abilities, but also your ability to heal up naturally at the end of a battle. If at any point you fall below 100% health, your hunger meter will appear. This lets you keep track of how much your hunger is growing while you're regenerating back to full. It'll also let you know if you should probably snack on something before heading further into battle. Keeping your hunger needs satisfied is simple, just eat something. The mod changes all foods so that they no longer restore health, and instead their display card will now say restores hunger. It also makes it so eating the same type of food repeatedly in a short time span will result in only receiving half of the food's hunger benefits. This is to stop you from just hoarding one type of food and spamming the hunger need away. It also acts as a very simplified sort of nutrition system, which encourages you to try different foods and maybe even plan out your meals. Certain types of foods are better than others. For example, stews and soups include a variety of ingredients, so they'll always provide their full benefits. The mod will also support other mods that add entirely new foods to the game. An important note of hunger in Last Seed is that it'll never kill you, at least not directly. Even if you were starving for 300 in-game years, you'd never die from hunger. Instead, Last Seed introduces a new type of character wellness in the form of vitality. Vitality is a measure of your overall wellness, taking into account all of your needs, diseases and other factors that affect your body. It's represented by a meter in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. The yellow bar shows your current vitality, while the white line indicates your vitality target. The target is where your vitality will end up if your current status remains the same. Vitality is also broken down into stages, but this time there's 8. You start in a healthy state and then you can go all the way up to peak condition or fall all the way to dying. Your vitality stage will affect all of your skills, so any stage below healthy will negatively affect all of your abilities. But stay healthy or better and your skills will be more effective. Unlike hunger and the other needs, your vitality doesn't suddenly jump up or down, instead it's a slow transition between stages. As of right now, only 2 things affect vitality: hunger, and if you have Frostfall installed, exposure will too. Your body can withstand some short-term neglection, but your vitality, which essentially represents your long-term health, will be affected in the long run. While at the hunger stages of ravenous or starving, you'll see your vitality target fall to 0, which means that if you stay as you are, you're on track to die. From our testing, it takes about 7 full days of starvation for that to happen, which is about right. But luckily, boosting your vitality is simple. Just like in real life, it's about looking after yourself and making sure you get plenty of sleep. Doing so will boost your vitality target and get you back into good health in no time. As the mod continues to expand, I'm sure you'll have to look after yourself in other ways too, like quenching your thirst, staying disease free and more. One of the big complaints of a realistic needs mod is that it feels tedious to a lot of players, or that it gets in the way when you just want to take down a dragon or explore a dungeon. To partially fix this, Last Seed introduces a focus ability. If you enter a dangerous interior, such as a cave or dungeon, you'll automatically become focused. This immediately pauses any of your needs and vitality, so you can get on with the dungeon without having to worry about extra micromanagement. However, when you leave the area, the changes that would have occurred naturally to your needs will happen all at once. So if you spend several hours in a dungeon, you could leave it feeling very hungry and eventually very thirsty and fatigued. We think this has the potential to add some great natural flow to your gameplay. You'll be tired, hungry and thirsty after a long dungeon crawl, so you'll be encouraged to head back to civilization or at least set up a campsite to rest. This should break up the monotonous dungeon after dungeon feeling that you sometimes get while playing Skyrim. Another experimental feature in Last Seed is called Unbound Intensity. This new power lets you immediately expend 30 vitality points to receive almost superhuman powers. You'll deal much more damage, take less damage, slow time, attack faster, and ignore all the effects of your wellness for 10 seconds. Basically, you get to go nuts in a very short term in exchange for your long-term health. This can be a great exchange if you're in peak condition or an all-out last hope for survival at the lower levels of vitality. We'd also like the option for it to happen naturally as long as certain parameters are met. Maybe as long as you're healthy or better, you instantly jump into overdrive if you lose 50% of your max health in under 2 seconds. So if you're definitely about to die in the next second or two, your Unbound intensity might just save you. And that's essentially it for the current version of Last Seed. Its support for Chesko's other survival mods is currently very limited, but definitely planned for the future. Other planned features include the expansion into Thirst and Fatigue, a disease overhaul that focuses on symptoms, follower support, and more changes to food. The prologue is a call out for feedback and ideas from the community, so if you have anything worth sharing then be sure to let the author know on the mod page. We'd also love to read your suggestions in the comments below. We'll eventually revisit Last Seed once it's more fleshed out, but until then you can find links to start testing or tracking the mod down below. As always, be sure to leave endorsements on any mod you enjoy, be sure to check out g2a.com, and thanks for watching.